So it's time for us to talk about probably one of the most important phones that Samsung's probably ever made in the last 4 years or so, and this is actually the Galaxy S10. I think the Galaxy S8 was a pretty big upgrade coming from the Galaxy S7, and the Galaxy S10 really took that upgrade and made it a completely different cycle of devices, which I'm so happy about. Now, I've already made a early 2022 review of this thing in the middle of 2022. Not a crazy amount of things have changed. We have gotten a new budget tier Samsung, which was the Galaxy S21 FE, we got the Galaxy S22s, we have a new or a few A series of devices that came out since then as well, but I think the main thing to look at with the Galaxy S10 is with the software improvements that this thing is going to be getting in the future, as well as the price decrease that this thing has gotten. Now, starting with the body, I will tell you this thing still feels and looks very premium, and even when I compare this thing to the Galaxy S22, I was still fairly shocked to see how great of a performing phone and a great feeling phone this thing still is. In fact, I kind of see a lot of the Galaxy S10 and a lot of phones that are coming out. And in fact, if I look at the iPhone 14 leaks, I would still say the Galaxy S10 kind of looks better than that specific phone. This is a 2019 flagship, and this thing still performs like a flagship in this day and age. The beautiful display on the front, fingerprint sensor embedded in the display, micro SD card slot, headphone jack, and Samsung DeX with USB Type-C. It doesn't really get too much better than that, and it still holds up very well. Glass on the back as well with wireless and reverse wireless charging and a triple camera setup. If you were to drop this phone in 2022 and drop it as a $700 phone, I think a lot of people would probably be super happy about it. The only thing that is missing is a 120Hz refresh rate on the display. Other than that, this phone still holds up very, very well. Now, when the Galaxy S22 came out, the Galaxy S10 did kind of budge a little bit in price, but you do have to understand, for better or for worse, Galaxies typically decrease the most probably within the first 2 months. So you could probably buy a Galaxy S22 right now for half the price or even less than half the price if you just go on eBay and probably search it up. With something like the Galaxy S10, what's really good about this phone is that it's almost, timeless. It looks very good in the hand, and it still holds up very well to its, successors. So because of that, buying something like this, you're really only going to be succumbed with the software. Once the software gets outdated, then it's a little bit of a different story. But as of right now, this thing is still supported, and I think this is still, in a really good situation. Now, looking at the future, it looks like the last version of software this thing's going to be getting is the one that it's on right now. So I think this isn't really that big of a deal. I think One UI 4 honestly was a pretty big update, and it brought a lot of cool things to the table on Android 12. With One UI 5 on Android 13, it will be a little bit of a different story, I'm sure. I'm sure this is going to be a little bit more of a, easier update and not as big of an update as One UI 4. But I will say for the Galaxy S10 series of devices, even on this version of software, it's still very capable of a lot of things that you're going to throw at it. Now, there's not really a lot of custom ROMs that have came out for this thing because it wasn't really easy to custom ROM this thing in the first place. But one thing I will definitely tell you with something like the Galaxy S10 is that the ability of all the applications you can download within this device. So you still have updates you can get through the App Store. You still have, APK files you can sideload if you want to. And because of those things, I feel like that really put this phone in a really good spot for the most part. It's not really, going to be outdated for the most part. Even when it's done getting software updates, it's still going to have a huge community behind it. And honestly, I will say this is probably one of those phones that once this thing is outdated with software, you could probably still pick it up and probably still have a good time with it because it's also getting security updates on top of that as well. So one thing about the Galaxy S10 to kind of sum up this mid-year review is that this is still a very awesome phone, especially for the price tag. You can easily find these things all day for less than $200. And like I mentioned, the biggest thing to keep in the back of your head is that if this phone got dropped in 2022, even with the same chipset, and Samsung just said, hey, we're going to give you 4 years of software updates on this thing, I still think a lot of people would end up buying this thing, to be honest. And I think that would still be a very good phone for $700, $650, who knows? And that's kind of what I have to say about it. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.